Supplement, you're not going to beat creatine. It's the most efficacious supplement across the board. It's good for muscle. It's good for skin.
Your entire body.
It's good for hair. It's good for your organs. It's good for your brain, cognitive function. It's good for heart function. It helps build muscle. Here's where I'm going to get controversial. The best fat burning supplement that exists.
All right. I'm known as the guy who goes after misinformation and all this stuff. All right, fine. This is no disrespect of anybody. But, there's some people that are doing some good stuff out. For example, Sal and Adam from the Mind Pump podcast, say that 3 times fast. They put out some good stuff, man. I like when young cats are doing good and you see them grinding and getting better and better and better with good stuff. They don't put out garbage just for the clicks, And so they're talking about creatine. My story with creatine goes back to 1994. When I was doing my master's at FAU, we interviewed Dr. Richard Kreider, which at the time, he was the foremost authority on creatine, and I believe it to this day has done more research on creatine than anybody alive, okay? He's a great guy. We interviewed him for a position on faculty at FAU in 1994, all right? I chose to hire him, and for whatever reason, we didn't, and it was our loss, man. Richard is the man. So this is how far back I go with creatine. And I've said, creatine is an awesome supplement. I went through when all the wrestlers died in 1995. 6 wrestlers died, and they blamed creatine. And they said creatine caused this and it caused that, dehydration, muscle cramping, and all that. I was on the NSCA committee that was charged with studying creatine and providing grants from the foundation to study creatine. Well, guess what? Creatine was studied against hydration, against thermoregulation, against muscle cramping. And it turned out that creatine helped with hydration. It kept lower body temperatures in the heat, and it prevented, muscle cramping. Creatine was not responsible for any of the wrestlers' deaths just because they were at some point in time on creatine. The deaths were caused by weight cuts and doing crazy stuff in the sauna with sauna suits on top of bikes. So, anywho, that's my story with creatine, and I've always been a proponent. I'm closely affiliated with Joey Antonio and the ISSN, and they've done a ton of literature review and studies on creatine. Creatine is the best supplements for little kids. It's now called brain food. Now they're looking at it for neurological brain dysfunctions. For example, maybe Parkinson's or anything like that's at the top of the brain and coming down and causing issues. So they're studying it now. For other things other than performance, they've beaten the shit out of the performance stuff, and creatine is money. So I'm with Sal that creatine is probably the most studied ergogenic aid other than caffeine. And it has been proven to be effective for a multitude of things, not only performance, but body composition, and like he says, a host of other skin, hair, organ, mental capacities, and so on and so forth. Great for kids. So all your kids should be on creatine. So congratulations to Sal and Adam for putting out some great stuff. I would like to model our channel like after theirs, put out good stuff, and call some controversy out when you need to. So congrats, Sal and Adam. We love you, brother. And anytime you want to collaborate, I'm here.
Here's where I'm going to get controversial. The best fat burning supplement that exists.
That would be one thing. I mean, I can postulate, and I understand why he says it's controversial, but I could postulate to what he's saying. I would like to hear his opinion. If you increase lean muscle mass, and lean muscle mass is metabolically more active than fat, say, you could say, well, you're burning more calories at rest. You're burning more fat of those calories at rest. So I could see that as a great fat burning supplement, but I'd like to hear his complete rationale and his complete thinking behind it. So I think it would be centered around not so much hormonal changes and metabolic changes, but the metabolic increase in activity due to increased muscle mass that creatine can help with. So I'm curious on that end.
Why are people afraid of it, you think?
A lot of people now know it's healthy. It's a wellness supplement. I think women are afraid of creatine because they heard that it makes you gain a little weight on the scale.
Yeah, I get big.
Yes, you hold more water. It's not bloat. There's water in the muscle, and there's water outside the muscle.
Yeah.
Inside the muscle is hydration. Here's what happens to a woman when she gains a pound of intramuscular Water.
She looks thicker.
Your muscles look rounder and fuller
good way.
and firmer.
Yeah.
They feel firm. They feel good. That's okay. Don't freak out because the scale went up a little bit. It's actually lean body mass.
Two things he addressed here. Why is it so misunderstood? And since I am in creatine from its inception, the NCAA college used to think that creatine was a steroid. That's how ignorant the NCAA was, and it was illegal in college athletics. And then they figured out it was an amino acid. Oh, it's like not a steroid. So this is how far back I go and how stupid and ignorant the industry was. So little by little, they got off creatine's ass because they saw that it's no different than taking branched chain amino acid. It's an amino acid. The mechanism by which it works, we don't know exactly, but there's a couple of theories. Number one, since it replenishes the energy stores, it allows you to do more sets and recover faster within a workout. And that additional work is responsible for greater muscle adaptation. However, there's some signaling they're not really too sure of, because since it volumizes the cell, and like Sal was saying, when it volumizes the cell, it's part of that lean muscle mass. The muscle mass grows, kind of like gets swollen with good stuff, right? And it allows you to replenish the ATP ATP through the phosphagen system. Now, what happens is they think there's some receptors in the membrane of the cell that respond to stretch. And when these receptors feel the muscle stretching, it kicks in the anabolic phase of RNA and DNA, okay? That was a theory back then. I still think that it's a theory now, and I'm wondering where that history went, because I don't study the biochem of supplements as much as other people do. But I'm very curious if that theory is still out there, or if it's been laid to rest one way or another, if been proven correct or been proven incorrect. And of course, once you're looking at cell volumizing, there's going to be an additional water weight that women don't want, because women just look at weight and how the dress fits, okay? So women have been taught to dig that anorexic look because clothing fits better, okay? Clothing is made for thin people. So thinner people always look more lines, and the clothing is actually accentuates the line and all that. So women are very, very fashion and appearance oriented. So if you're looking at, with clothing, they care about the weight. Now, if you care about a bathing suit and looking out on the beach, they love the muscles. But you have this thing with women, and that's one of the reasons that women kind of like with the creatine, because of the weight gain. But if the weight gain is inside the muscle, like Sal says, it's actually part of your lean muscle mass. So it's all good. When you do that, you can see the little tricep. Well, it's partly because you're working out, and the working out is driving the creatine into the muscle, so you're getting a double whammy. So I'm good with all of this, man. I'm good, and hopefully women will increasingly learn to appreciate muscle. But I get it. I get it because I have a wife, and she doesn't want muscle. And she understands this. She lives with me. Yeah, I don't care. I care about how clothing looks. And the truth is, when clothing is covering the body, the thinner the body, the better are your options for what designers you're going to buy from, because designers are known for their cut. And if their cut is European, Italian, it's very thin, very small, and it looks awesome. When you get a more athletic looking girl, she can't strut those European brands that are made for tiny girls. So my wife's lost 20 pounds, and some of it is muscle, and she doesn't care. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And I hope that women appreciate more how they look at the beach, or as we say, how we look naked, rather than how you look with your designer dresses. But I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a hard sell.